What is up, you raiding degenerates? 'Tis I, KOK. If you don't know much about me, I'm a healer main. This tier I play a lot of White Mage and Sage, and my first clears of P5, 6, and 7 were done through the Party Finder. Currently, my time is split halfway between Party Finder progging 8 and playing with my static for re-clears, but I just wanted to make a quick tier list about how much I enjoy playing with the other classes in a Party Finder environment. Obviously, this meme tier list shouldn't affect your enjoyment of the class you like to play, but maybe you can use this tier list to smugly feel good about playing your job in Party Finder. Who knows? Whatever the case, I'm just gonna make some pretty generalized opinions of my experiences. So just don't take it too seriously. Again, this is from a healer point of view. I definitely do not care about damage since we're several weeks into the tier already. Everyone already has upgraded tome gear or raid drop gear, so DPS checks aren't really an issue. If you want to see a DPS tier list, go look at FF logs or something. This is strictly how much I enjoy playing with this role for either prog PFing or re-clear PFing. Alright, so starting with the one I know least about, Astros. I have literally never played with an Astro in Party Finder. If a regen slot is open, I'll join as White Mage. If a regen slot is taken, it's almost always a White Mage. I've never seen it be an Astro. I have no experiences playing with Astro. I did play a little bit of Astro last year, and it seems like they thrive in optimized settings such as statics, where you can pre-plan heals and have a good healing rotation on lock, but that's usually not the case with Party Finder, so I'm not surprised that there's very few Astros in Party Finder. Also, they're hard to play. They require a lot of weaving and burst windows, so why play the harder class when the easy class does the same amount of damage and does the same amount of healing, if not more. So White Mage, C tier. In casual content, there's a meme about White Mages either being glare bots or cure 1 bots. In Savage raiding, you don't really see any cure bots anymore. I think most of them have learned how to at least somewhat optimally heal, but there are still plenty of glare bots. White Mages have some of the best healing in the game. Lilies are essentially OG CDs now, since their damage is neutral with the Blood Lily, and when you sync it with raid buffs, it's actually a damage gain using your Lily heals. And White Mages, use your heals, at least use your Lily heals. Throw in some Medica 2s when your team needs it, because that's what the regen healer is supposed to do. Don't be a glare mage when your party is bleeding out during the raid wides. So for Sages, I'm putting them straight in the B tier, which is I don't really care either way if you choose to play this role or not. Sages, I think they're fine. I don't mind as much if they're Dosis bots, since their gimmick is kind of tied to them doing damage. So as a White Mage, I don't really mind throwing some extra heals in, since it's more efficient for the Sage to be damaging rather than the White Mage. They are pretty good with mitts, so I don't really have any bad experiences with Sages. And even if they forget to use Cardia, a gentle reminder usually does a trick. You don't have to be... Everyone forgets Cardia every now and then, even me. Scholars, oh boy. I could rant about Scholars for a while. There have been some really bad Scholars in Party Finder, and there have been some really good ones as well. The thing I have the most issue with is Aether Flow. Sometimes you play with Scholars that spam Dissipate and use Aether Flow for energy drains on cooldown, and that is just a pain to deal with. At that point, you're not co-healing, you're just being a dead weight while letting your co-healer solo heal the fight, and that sucks, man. If I have to do a single extra GCD heal because you refuse to use your Aether Flow for something other than energy drain, it's already a DPS loss from a party standpoint. So don't be greedy. Energy drain is, in my opinion, a bonus you get for optimizing your healing with your co-healer. and you're not going to have optimized environments in a party finder. In statics, you can openly discuss when using heals, so the extra Aether Flow stacks can be converted into a little bit of extra potency. But in party finder, if you're using Aether Flow for damage, you're basically griefing your co-healer. That extra 100 potency is not going to matter when your co-healer is desperately trying to keep the party alive. Don't be greedy with it, just heal, man, just heal, use your shields. I see scholars that don't even mitigate the big raid wides, and everyone's left with hundreds of HP. It's like why? Are you saving your Aether Flow for more energy drains? Wait, now that I think about it, I don't remember seeing any shields. I think he actually was using all Aether Flows for energy drain, not even for a bubble. Now I have to look it up. Let me search this up on XIV analysis. Yeah, what the fuck is this? Are you kidding me? Triple energy drain, dissipate, triple energy drain. During that first raid wide. What the fuck is this? Our HP got knocked down to 2k. 0 mits from the shield healer. Jesus Christ. Did he use Sacred Soil once? Okay, he used Sacred Soil once. He got knocked down to 2.4k HP just because he wanted to use 0 mits. I saw the DPS using mits. I saw the tanks using mits. The shield healer, whose your main job is to shield, isn't using mits. Instead, they're 6 energy draining the opener. They're not using Sacred Soil. Why? What is 6 energy drains gonna do for our prog if we die to raid wides? God damn it. He was actually doing 6 energy drain openers in a Phase 1 prog party. Not only that, this guy was the snarkiest guy in the group. When anyone would mess up, he would just spam question marks. And God. I don't care if you're a tank and you don't optimally mit tank busters, but if you're a shield healer and you don't even bother casting shields on your party so that they can knock down to 1% HPs, what are you doing? Why are you playing a shield healer? Go play a ranged DPS or something. At this point, you're griefing me. You're griefing. You're just griefing the party. Oh my god. And if you're griefing the party, at least don't be a fucking asshole to the party members in a prog party. Is that too much to ask? Is it really too much to ask? Once scholars, the energy drain are just, they just get on my nerves, man. The potency is not a lot. It's not worth it. It's not worth skipping shields, especially, just to get a 100 extra potency that won't even matter in the long run. Especially if you're making your co-healer have to do extra GCD healing to cover for you. But if you're a scholar and you do use Aether Flow for healing, keep it up. I love you. Wanna go on a date? Alright, next we got some tanks. Warrior, no surprise to anyone, they're going to S tier. As a healer, if you see a warrior in your party finder, you can kind of just breathe a sigh of relief since that's a lot of extra healing that you don't have to worry about. God bless warriors for their self-healing. Paladins, I'm very tempted to put them in the question mark tier, but I actually have seen a couple of paladins in Party Finder, and my opinion is neutral on them. They don't seem too squishy, and they do have a little bit of sustain, so it's whatever. Gunbreakers, kind of the same deal. I don't feel like I have to put in extra work to keep them up. As long as they're using their mids properly, but that could be said about any of the other tanks as well. Dark Knights, I don't really know why, but I have to put in a little bit of extra healing resources on them. Maybe because their self-sustain's a bit lacking compared to the other tanks, but they do have a lot of mids. I don't feel too strongly about it, but they do seem to be a little squishier than the other tanks. Not a big deal though. Alright, Black Mages, into the D tier. No offense to the Black Mages out there. It's a hard class to play. I know there's a lot of casting, but from my experience, they're the ones that you have to play around. You have to adjust your healing positions for them since they're casting out in Narnia. And if they miss one of your heals or mitts, they're probably going to end up dead because caster HP, lol. They don't really bring a whole lot to the table utility-wise, but they do a lot of damage. Again, I don't really care about damage at this point. DPS checks don't really matter if your party does the mechanics correctly. So that's why I'm putting them in D tier. They just don't help me as a healer at all. Summoners, yeah, A tier. When you compare it to the other casters, or when you compare it to Black Mage at least, they just bring a little bit more, especially because they have a battle res and Phoenix. Obviously, summoners aren't using Phoenix just for timed heals, but I don't know, it does help out. Not really too much to say here, except at least you're not a Black Mage. So Red Mages, I'm not ordering these within tier, with the exception of S tier, because of just how much I like playing with Red Mages. Chain resing is just so unbelievably useful for progging in Party Finder. I can't even tell you how many times pools have been saved because the Red Mage was able to bring up 2 or 3 people before a major mechanic which requires all 8 people to be up. I wouldn't say essential for progging, but a very nice thing to have. And they also have Magic Barrier, which is not nothing. But yeah, chain resing is just so crazy good. Onto the P range. My opinions aren't really too strong about this role type. Bard and Dancer, they're both nice. Don't really care either way which one of these get picked. They both bring some mitts. Dancer has Shield Samba and Curing Waltz. Bard has Troubadour and that meme Asuna ability. Maybe I'm overrating, but it did help me out in T-Prog during that one Asuna phase. I'm pretty indifferent about these two classes. Machinists, unfortunately, I'm putting in C tier. I know I wasn't going to bring up damage as a way of prioritizing this, but when you bring less util than the other jobs in your role and less damage, you're kind of just not really needed in any Party Finder. Every time I see a Machinist, I kind of wish you were playing one of the other P range instead. No offense, nothing personal. Melees, so I'm putting all the melees except Reaper in B tier. Reaper, they have the AoE heal over time, which is a little underrated. It did get nerfed a long time ago, but it adds up. I might not notice it every time, but healing is healing, and whatever helps keep the party up. The other melees, I don't really think they have anything special in terms of healing util. Each of them have feints. Yeah, they're just kind of damage bots. So there we go. This is the healer POV tier list. If this list has offended you in any way, deal with it or just ignore it, because in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't affect your enjoyment of your own class. Shout out to everyone who uses feints, addles, or prizes in Party Finders. I know it's hard to optimize things, especially and there's no communication between the party, but throwing it out when you have it up still helps a lot as a healer. There we have it. If you're a scholar that uses Aetherflow for energy drain in Party Finder environments, I hope you stop being such a greedy piece of